I don't know what song she's listening to. I'm gonna stick it out. Hold on a second. Okay. Welcome to Be So Light. My name's is Priestess Makala, also known as Niana and Felicia. All right, so we need to talk. We need to talk big time. So I'm gonna put my water up here. So we need to talk. So everyone's jumping on this bandwagon about the picture that is circulating around on GQ with Brad Pitt. Now, first of all, you got to remember everything that's happening. You can't believe everything you see. You can't believe everything that you're observing. Okay, and you got to also look at too. Why are they? Why did he take a picture like that? It looks like he's a corpse. Looks like he's laying down. Looks like he's giving a lot of symbology off. Well, first of all, I have this little connection with Brad Pitt. And it was like a long time ago, back in the day when I was a youngin'. Well, let's see, I'm 56 now. So we're talking about way back. Okay. We're talking about at the time when he just finished Interview with a Vampire. And I had just saw that movie, and a friend of mine who was in the entertainment community in all the acting stuff, and he had hooked me up online in the back door where you can go talk to movie stars, and they communicate with each other. They don't communicate on the internet like us. They go through a back door, and they have their own where they be doing all their talking, because they don't want to run the risk of be talking online here and then get their whole website, everything, hacked and what have you. So I remember he had it. My friend hooked us up, and we were talking to Brad Pitt. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I really loved you in the movie Interview with a Vampire." And he was telling me, it was kind of funny the way he said it. Yeah, I loved doing that movie. It was great, but Tom Cruise was a terrible actor in it. He couldn't do anything in it. It was terrible. He was a terrible actor in it, and I just kind of started laughing. And because I found Tom Cruise to be like overacting in that movie. But Brad was like really smooth in it. So the reason why I'm saying it is because we can't believe everything that you see. So one of the things that I asked my guides about, and I actually consulted the cards. Now I'm going to talk about some cards here, and there's two sets of cards I want to talk about, because everybody knows I like to do my reads, and I like to do that, and I love the feedback that I get back from people when I do my reads, because they always come back later and they say, "Oh my god, that was like right on the money," or "That was true." And then I get some people that'll get mad because it's not what they expected, but wait for it, it shows up. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, it was right on the money." And I'm like, cards don't lie. I don't be telling no lie. That's the one thing with cards, you can't really, unless you set your cards up a certain way to get the results you want. But I'm not like that. I just mix my cards up, and that's that. So anyway, let me get to the story, what I want to say. So when I looked at the picture, all right, after I already talked to Brad online and everything back in the day, and he's so funny. He was like, "Well, why don't you come out and hang out? Let's meet." And I was like, "No, I have to work a double, and it's coming into the weekend." He said, "I can send a car. I can have you picked up, brought down to LA. You can come and hang out. We can have fun over the weekend." Da 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 da. And I was really tempted to go. My friend, he was like, "Well, we can just go. We'll just go hang out." I said, "No, I have to stay and get myself ready because I got to do a double. Nurses, we have to take care of ourselves so we can do our doubles and do our work for the weekend. But I just remember I wanted to go so bad. But I changed my mind and I said no. He said, well, just know anytime you want to come to LA, you want to hang out, or you want to come to the production or whatever, you let me know. You got contact. He'll get in contact with me and I'll set things up. And I said, no problem, Brad. He goes, I want you to be happy. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Brad. Sweet man. He has a really, really sweet man. Hi, darling. Hi, darling. And then I saw, recently, not too long ago, I'm gonna get to my point now about how that picture ain't him. Okay. So I go through Tubi. And if you go down into, I want to say drama, I think it's drama section, or what has been recently added. You can go into that. So I went into that section, and here they have all of these documentaries of all these stars. But here's the catch: all of these documentaries about the stars and their private life, things that were going on, or what was all filmed and put together anywhere from 2019, 2020, and 2021. Those are these particular um, information on the stars. Okay, and there was two of them in there on Brad Pitt. So I watched the one with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It's called Brangelina, and in that one, he states how when he did the filming for, I think it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or either Legend of the Fall. I think it was Legend of Falls. Good movie. Good movie. Um, he was saw himself in a cutout version, standing in a cardboard, and right then and there he says, "I have to get out of Hollywood." He fell out of love with it right then and there when he saw that, because he saw what he was becoming, this cutout picture of him, and then his journey with Angelina Jolie, how they got in contact, and how things, that whole story. So anyway, that always stayed in the back of my mind when he said, "I have to get out of here. This is not where I belong." He was making that statement like he couldn't deal with this. Now, I have had like spiritual dreams, and the last spiritual dream I had about Brad Pitt was really interesting, because it was, once again, I think that's how we tied it into this limo. This limo shows up. I get into it. Brad Pitt's sitting in the back. And he's sitting there, and he's wearing like this white, and he has like the black tie thing on and everything. He looks really good, relaxed. He looks, really good and calm, white, glowing, all kind of stuff. And I go, "Hey." He goes, "Hey, it's good to see you again." And I go, "Hey, what's going on? We haven't talked and seen each other or whatever, communicated in a long time." And he says, "Yeah, I know." And I remember him, and it was so surreal. It was so, I don't think it was even a dream. I think it was like we met on a different timeline. We were talking about spiritual stuff. And he said, and I will not forget this because it was so surreal the way he said it. He says, "Yeah, Hollywood can make you and it can destroy you, especially if you don't go along with what they want you to go along with." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." And he looks at me, and I say, "You're talking about all this stuff of how, you know, all the tabloid stuff about you and your son, and you were in a drunken da 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 da." And he goes, "Yeah, they used that." And I said, "Wow." He goes, he looks at me, he says, "Remember that time when I asked you to come out to LA, and I was going to ask you to come?" I go, "Yeah." And I thought it was really funny that that would come up in this type of timeline dream or whatever it was, but that was really weird. He goes, I'm glad you didn't come out because something would have happened to you that would have been beyond my control of whoever would have showed up. And there would have been nothing I could have done to prevent it. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. And he says just like this, the people in Hollywood, what we see, they give us one look, but I know them as the monsters. They're all monsters that shouldn't even be considered to be human. He said it just like that. And I was like, oh my gosh. He goes, yeah. And he had this real serious look on his face when he said it. They're monsters. They're all monsters. And I was just like, wow. He goes, yeah. And he kind of looks at me. And the rest I'm not going to talk about. Anyway, so now I'm going to tell you about that magazine. Okay, first of all, I know the colors of Brad's eyes. Okay, I just know. And when you look at the color of the eyes of this one in the magazine, there's these off, weird looking green color. They don't look right. I'm like, that don't look right. And Spirit told me exactly when I looked at the picture, it said, that is not him. That is not the real Brad Pitt. That is the cloning of him laying there. They're using a clone of him. They're laying it to rest. I said, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So I was just like, really? So I started looking at it, and it does. It looks like one of those blow up doll type of image things. Like you could just leave it like that, and it just like that. And then so I was just like, I kind of figured that wasn't him. It really wasn't him. So they have all the symbols and all that stuff on that, and you can take a look at that picture yourself, but that is not him. Point blank period. And so I just kind of took that and I said, oh. So Spirit was telling me people have got to learn when they come out and they show you something, you have to ask, is that the real person? Is it a clone or is it digital? Because we are in such an inverted world where they present and show us anything and we believe it. We believe what we see because that's how they trained us to be. Instead of calling them out on their stuff and calling them out and saying, you you're not presenting truth, you're not standing in truth, how that is being projected. So it is really up to us to really be able to look at everything and say, is that the real person? Is that a double? Is that a cloning? Is that digital? We have every right to say and to question that now because they have kept us in this delusional, controlled matrix AI botic people for a long time. And we just go along with it and don't think nothing of it. We don't question. Hell, I question everything now. I question everything. I have to because I'm done with the lies and I'm done with the deceit. So that is just a projection of him, but it's not him. It's not the real him. And then when I look at those when I look at those other pictures, like the ones where they got the digital thing and it looks like those digital prints like in tarot when you have the cards and they print the person's face on a card or something in tarot, which I really don't like those real image type of things on a tarot card. I never have because it I like things that are drawn. I like the drawn things, the artsy type of stuff. I don't like the actual face printed in with the cards. So that's why I'm saying we have to really ask questions You go, girl. Much love, gotta run. I hope I didn't offend you. So, anyway, this video is not going to be for a lot of people anyway. Um, that was my take on it, and we have to just ask ourselves that question. What are we looking at? Is it real? Is it made up? Is it, you know, we have to ask that now because they have betrayed trust. They can't be trusted. I don't trust anything in the government. I don't trust anything. I don't care who the hell you are. I don't trust it. If you've been hurting the people and you've been doing sidewinding stuff and creating all of this chaos for nothing just to get what you want, I don't trust you. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. Anything that comes out of your mouth, I definitely will not be trusting you. So we, as the divine light beings, really have to start standing in our truth of who we are. Really have to own that. And not just take everything that they say, value, and say, oh, okay, they said this, and think that is walking on water and it's truth, because they're lying. If you haven't figured it out by now, that's the kind of scenario that's playing out on us all the time. So I just wanted to bring that up. So one of the things I did, I'm going to talk about these. Okay, I got these cards a long time ago, probably about 2 years ago. And I remember I got them. I got them at Half Price Bookstore. And I remember when I got them, I was like, oh, wow, these are kind of cool, blah, 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 these are kind of different. So I got them, and I was just kind of like, oh, they're kind of different, modern box of spell, they're kind of different. So they have one section called The Good Witch and the Bad Witch. Okay. So, like, they have the Bad Witch cards, and then they have the Good Witch cards. All right. So, this is the fun part about them. You can mix these and shuffle them all up. All right. And call in the elements, bless them all up. Make sure you're in the highest frequency when you're doing it, whatever. And however you call it in for yourself. And I was just asking a question if that was really Brad. And I got a no, that wasn't the real Brad. So I said, okay, I'm going to see if I can trick these cards. I'm going to say, well, I worded it different. I said, well, is that a double Brad? And then I got a strong no again. So the no cards are going to be any card that comes with the red in it. And then your yes cards are going to be anything that has the yellow on it. So if you get two yeses, two of these colors, and a red, that's a yes. If you get two of these colors and a yellow, that's a no. They got the codes in the book how to do it. But if you get three reds, that's a definite no. If you get three of the yellows, that's a definite yes. So these cards have been kind of funny because I'll say things like, well, that sounds like we need to ask the witches. Let's ask the witches. So my friend and I, Deb, she just took off and left. She and I, we were on this asking a question thing, I think for 2 hours. And I'm going to show you something that came up a lot when we were asking questions on the government stuff. So this is the card that represents all the government stuff. Okay. Look at the snakes, the venom, poison. Okay. So this card represents if they were snake energy, and we ask questions if they were taken off the planet, if they were like sent to a different planet, a different timeline or a dimension that they were sent to. Kind of like, remember back in the day when we watched Superman? Remember when Superman first came out? and the bad super beings came to Earth, and no, they had to go on trial because they were plotting to get rid of the people and all this stuff. They went on trial, and this prism, flat prism glass thing came, and it encased them and put them into it, and then it shot them out into space. Okay, that's what happened to a lot of these people. They got sent out in that energy, not as the same thing like the prism that, but just being escorted off the planet. So that card represents that energy. So these cards are really, really cool. You can definitely find them online, but I really like it. This one's called the Heavenly Witch, the Treasure Witch, the Love Witch. This one will come up if it's a loving question that needs to be asked. The Fairy Witch, the Fire Witch, the Warty Witch. Grant the three wishes. This one comes up a lot if we're asking questions like, well, did they have a choice? And then this card will pop up and say they had a wish. They asked a wish, something that they didn't want to either come out in public, their last request. This card would come up. I was like, ooh. Then if it was a really bad person, this one would come up. The hell has no fairy like a witch. That one. Then there's the Bat Witch, the Old Hag Witch, mhm, the Earth Witch, the Brown Witch, Abracadabra Witch, the Air Witch, that Venom card like I showed you, the Silver Witch, the Cauldron Witch, the Water Witch, Mermaid, the Eye of Newt, the, I want to say Challenging Witch, the Covenant Witch, Happily Ever After Witch. Love this one. This showed up a lot after the question was asked. The Toad Witch, the Ditch Witch, the Toll and Trouble Witch, the South Witch, the East Witch, the Broomstick Witch, the Tortured Witch, if they were tortured, the Green Witch, the New Moon Witch, the Secret Witch, the Forest Witch, the Thunder and Lightning Witch. I think Hillary got this one. The Hedge Witch, the Healing Witch, the Cursing Witch, the North Witch, the External Witch, the Ageless Witch. This one will show if they did something or if it was cloned or digital. The Wood Witch, the Ring Around the Moon Witch, the Full Moon Witch, the Happy Witch, the Stardust Witch, if they're star being, the Wickedest Witch, the Timeless Witch, the West Witch, the Marriage Witch, the Halloween Witch, the Immortal Witch. Look at the Immortal Witch. Taking that in. And then the Hubble Bubble Witch. Okay, so like I said, if you order these, you get these for yourself, and you go through and how you ask the question is how you get the answer. You cannot sit back and ask too many questions on top of each other because then you won't get a clear answer. So you have to have a clear question first. Then, as you're shuffling and asking the questions, your cards will go into that. Now, I like to take my cards, throw them all down. I could just mix every. One time I threw my cards across the room to make sure they got mixed up. But the reason why I share this with you is because we're in a window of energy time right now where truth is revealing itself. But you have to ask the right question the right way. You have to ask it the right way to get the answer. So, and it's true. In the movie Gods of Egypt, when they finally make it to the halls of Menti, I think, where they had to ask these questions, and it was the one God where he was the God of knowledge, and he was all these different splits of himself throughout the whole temple, and they had to ask these questions a certain way. And even then, I think there was the one where it was a snake. Even in Aquaman, in order for him to have access to that particular sword, he had to have the right question in order to get it. A lot of things, when we look at anything metaphysical, and in the ancient times of schooling, through those ancient texts, the answer is right there. But in order for it to reveal itself, you have to ask the right question, and you have to ask it in the right way to get the answer. So there's a difference if you say, oh, is the say like a question like, is the economy going to pick up? Is the economy going to pick up? And then you might get an answer where it says yes. But did you ask, how did you want the economy to be picked up? Picked up in what way? That's a very vague statement. You see what I'm saying? So how you ask a question, how you form it, is the way it will be. Hold on 1 second. Answer to you. Mm, I ain't having that. Okay. Sorry about that. So these are fun if you just want to ask questions for entertainment and just kind of blow yourself away with it. Um, I like those. I think I showed you guys the mermaid ones. I'm pretty sure of it. Um, and then the spirit ones, spirit cards, really good cards. So on the cards for the read that I did on my Instagram, that one I have it where that's very interesting. That one I have it for it's already posted, and the reading that came up, and then in the alchemy group of light, alchemy 369, that one had a really interesting read for the whole entire group. So your cards, pay attention to your cards. We're going to be going through a lot of weird energy that's going to make you kind of tired, lethargic. You're going to notice weird things happening. Like for me, I've been noticing in the apartments across the way over here on the roof, and it's always the same roof. It's always the same. So first it started off with two crows. And this has been going on now for 3 weeks. So I don't know what's going on in that house over there, that apartment section over there. I don't know what's going on. But there's these two crows that show up They squawk really loudly to make everybody know that they're there. They are talking really loudly. They sound really interesting, the tone of their cries and their calling. Okay, so it's two. So this morning, I'm sleeping and I literally, it sounded like I heard someone screaming, like just screaming, like kind of like in a woman's voice, but it was like this, kind of like that sound. I was like, what the hell's going on? Who's screaming? And I was like, wasn't nobody, it was the crows. And then there was four of them sitting over on top of that same roof. I said, somebody got something going on over there. They got them crows sitting up on their roof over there. What's going on? What they calling in? And I'm like, something calling in. So I've been paying attention to that. And then now I'm noticing like these weird yellow jackets that are coming over. They're just annoying. You know what I'm saying? They're annoying pests. But I've just noticed how I felt like I was going to sneeze, how they've been coming to the windows. And I'm like, let me close that because I don't feel like dealing with those things. I can't stand them. They're annoying. They're a pain in the butt. So anyway, um, just paying attention around you and what's showing up. You need to pay attention to that. And like I said, pay attention. Not everything that we see is what it is. Okay? Please don't get caught up in all the hoopla, all the drama, all of that. Don't get caught up in all that stuff, you know? Because I find it very interesting how they do that. And I'm like, okay, well, why is everybody buying into that? It's not even real. It's not this. It's not that. So, yes, they're going to be doing crazy stuff to get you to be in panic mode. But it is really up to all of us to really, it's kind of like, how do I put this? You know how you have a kid that keeps acting up and they keep, you go into, back in the day, you walk into Kmart and you're going down the aisles and you're shopping and all of a sudden your kid decides to, mommy, can I have this, can I have this? No, you gotta put it back, we can't get that. Why can't I have it, can I have it? No, you can't have that, put it back. So then the next thing you know, they fall out, they have a fit, they start having their moments of calling out and having the temper tantrum. And in order to get the attention they want, they get louder and louder. They start really exacerbating the whole atmosphere of everything. They really start acting up to get that attention. It's kind of like what they're doing, you know, the Gumby people, the human wannabes. That's what they're doing. Okay. So this week coming and next week, there's a lot of energetic things going on, especially since we have that alignment of those planets coming through. Beautiful alignment. So that right there is creating this doorway of all this energy of everything that you could just put together, whatever it is you want to manifest. And then might be the time that you might just be sitting back and saying to yourself, maybe I just need to wait a minute. Maybe I just need to hold back. Maybe I don't need to be all up in that energy right now. So, a lot of light workers, all of us, we know the game that's going on at all the platforms. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, it doesn't matter unless you're doing your own Patreon thing, which soon will be to follow for me. Just, you know, however you want to set it up. But we all know that it's all being controlled with different AI algorithms and all that stuff. And a lot of light workers, I'm finding it some of the ones that are really up there that are talking, and they're saying, yeah, even my viewing has went way down. And it's all because if you are of the light and you're talking light stuff and you're talking healing, and you're talking anything that is positive, that is geared towards keeping your vibration up, they don't want you on here. They don't want you talking. They don't want your stuff getting out. And I know that for a fact because I got an email from here on YouTube and I was like, huh. First, they were telling me that I need to change my content, make more content, da 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 da, and I would get more people. And I said, that's a lie because you're going to block it. It doesn't matter what I do. And I'm not on here trying to get a lot of people. I'm just putting the message out. The ones that are supposed to see it will see it. That's all there is to it in a nutshell. So, which is how a lot of people find me anyway. And to not believe in whatever my number of subscribers is, don't believe that either because it's more than that anyway. So I get a letter, email, and it says there was something I had talked about and it got a lot of attention. YouTube sends me a letter and says, I should say, the AI sent me a letter and says this. Looks like someone's been getting a little bit too much attention. And that was it. That was the comment. Looks like someone's been getting a little bit too much attention. And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you guys, I went priestess gangster real quick in my mind. And then, I kind of came back, got in connection of my divinity with creator, tried to find that space and centered myself. And then I became the oracle of the matrix. And I just simply said this. You damn right I got some attention. What you gonna do about it? Can I give you a cookie? I was like, in my mind I'm thinking, and then in my mind, I felt like I became my grandmother for a split second. Like my grandmother stepped into me and said, how dare they say these days? I'll come down and kick some whip ass on them. Like she going, so I was just like, yeah, I get an email like that telling me, looks like someone's been getting a little bit too much attention. I'm like, really now? What you afraid of? Gumby? What you afraid of? Human wannabe? I'm sorry. Yeah, can you read me now? I just don't care. I got more important things. I'm just out here spreading my info and saying what is needed to be said and doing it in a very interesting way that we all have to do things and it doesn't matter. Even Rumble and all of those platforms, you still have to do things in a different way because they'll come over there. But it just remind you of the movie Terminator? When it started from Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator 3 and 4, I lost count after that. But they were all talking about how this the AI was taking over. Okay, here's the thing. This is the question that everybody should be asking themselves. If we know how this is playing out and they give us a movie to tell us what's coming, therefore, isn't that a heads up that we already know how we're going to take care of the situation because they already told us what they're going to do? I'm just saying. Isn't that a heads up for us to kind of pay attention to that? I mean, think about it. Think about it. Okay. So I'm going to close out. We're going to do one animal, one witch, Which one is funny? Because I get to go in and asking questions, and I'm looking at yellow, yellow, red. Oh, that's yes. Red, 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 red. That's a definite no. Okay, so let's just say, is there going to be some energy event taking place this week? Actually, I'm supposed to reword it. Is there some type of energy event taking place a day before the 4th of July? Let's pick that. Day before the 4th of July. Day before the 4th of July. Do we need to kind of be on our wits energetically? Okay, let's look. 1 card, 2 card, 3 card. This set over here. Okay, so far, nothing to watch for the day before 4th of July. Okay, now that was 3 reds. Okay, now I'm going to ask another. So here's this one there. I'm going to mix this up. Here's this one here. I'm going to mix that up. Here's this one here. I'll mix this up. All right, so now they're all mixed up. Who said that? I'm here still. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, is there something we need to pay attention to energetically? Is there going to be some kind of energy event of this world or nationwide? Let me say nationwide that we need to pay attention to on July 5th. 1 card, 2 card, 3 card. This set over here. I have fairy, I have air, and I have wicked. So this would be a yes. So mark your calendars for something nationwide that's going to be taking place, happening on 7/5. There's that 5. They love 5. They love that 5. They love that 6, and they love that 5. 7/5. So because we got the wicked witch. Look at that. Wicked. Something wicked. So I'm going to make note of that because that's a question I asked. It says fairy. It says air. Something about air. Okay. Let's just keep an eye on that. All right. So that's the question we asked. How's this rest of this week? What is the guided energy going to be like? This should be very interesting. I'm going to write that down. I detach from the outcome. And then let's do the animal. And the animal. Okay, so we have freedom of choice. Oh, how interesting. Freedom of choice. We've been really fighting over that lately. That's going to get a little bit more heated. It says, your choice are yours to make. Don't allow others to make your choices for you. Yes, don't allow it. Even the Gumby people and the human wannabes. And look, we have the buffalo spirit. The abundant universe will provide. The buffalo. This is really ironic to get this because it has that 10, that 1 on it. So let's just see how it all plays out. Everybody remember that question, okay? Some kind of energy event on 7/5. Let's just see. And let me ask this question. Okay, keep that in mind. Will it Will it be taken care of? Will it be taken care of? The event on 7/5 of this year. Will it be taken care of? July 5th. I'm going to take that one out. That one. That one. Ooh. So, the water witch, the toad witch, and the silver witch. No. So, let's just see what happens. Everybody mark your papers on that one. Let's see. Let's just see how accurate this really is. I like to do things like that and take a chance on it and see what it does. Come back and say, oh, yeah, that was a hit. Oh, that was a miss. But let's keep a look at that and see. Okay? All right, everyone. Just remember what I said. Not everything that you see is what it is. And we have to really ask ourselves those questions now. You have to question everything. Question the motive. Question the motive behind people. Your banks, everything, how they so calm. They know what's happening. They know exactly what's going on. But they're being all quiet and calm, cool and collect. You walk in, they're like, hi, welcome in. You know what's up. They know what the 411 is. Hi, welcome in. And now, what is this new thing? I can't go into Trader Joe's now without being asked, so what are you doing today? What are you doing today? Well, you got any plans today? That's how they ask. I guess this is the new interaction way. You got any plans today? So now I'm saying things like, yes, I do have plans. I plan on activating my higher chakra, my soul crown, into the dimensions of myself, going up higher. So therefore, when I'm on five and going to sixth and seventh and eighth dimension, I'm able to anchor in beyond the brinks and the limitations of the four and the three that is anchored in with the reptilians and the draconians of these beings that have been ruling over us for centuries and centuries. I plan on doing all of this roughly in a couple of hours after I leave your Trader Joe's, after I get into my vehicle to drive myself back to my location of where I am to take care of this scenario. What are you doing today? How are you leveling up in your spiritual way? But I do just want to go off and say that because they're like, so you got any plans today? I have a really bad one, but I'm pretty sure if I was to say it, I would get a couple of the men in black coming to my door. Is your name Miss Felicia Burns? No, it is not. Do you understand what I am saying? I do not compute. I ain't gonna make it easy for him. Gonna be their worst nightmare. So my mom always says, your mouth is gonna get you in trouble. Yeah, whatever. That's what it's on my face for, to express itself to others. Come on, even Madonna had it down. Express yourself, come on. So don't know where that's coming from, you guys. I think I need more water. I might be getting dehydrated. Anyway, um, just know that just pay attention. Like I said, pay attention. So I have a little joke story that I'm going to share with you. Hopefully, I'll remember how it all goes. Okay. So the little one and I were driving through. Haven't you ever wondered about this? And I don't know, we were just on this thing about fast food places. And I don't know, just one day I realized something. When I saw that Jack in the Box statement. I said, there really is no Jack in the box. There's no Jack in the box. She kind of looks at me and she goes, huh? I go, is that a true statement? When we drive up to the drive through, do we actually really get a box and Jack is in it? No, there's no Jack in the box. No Jack. And so we took it one step further. And so, well, couldn't find, we asked if Jack, why wasn't Jack in the box and is he available to come and be in the box? And they said no. And said no, that we had to report it to Carl's Jr., but Carl's Jr. couldn't do anything because he was too busy taking care of Wendy's, who was having some kind of habit problem. And in that habit problem she was having, it was becoming not a clear in and out situation. It went supersonic. And then things really got out of control when Popeye showed up with the Happy Meal. And then all hell broke loose because Taco rang the bell. And then that was the apocalypse of the fast food place. we so you have Habit, Sonic, Taco Bell, Popeye. You have let's see, what was the other one? Um, you have Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., Wendy's. The only ones we left out, we didn't put Burger King in it, and we did have KFC in there. That was a signal, like KFC is supposed to give out the signal. But we put it all together, made this little scenario, and she wrote it all out, and she told her grandmother who had a birthday, and her grandmother couldn't stop laughing. Thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So all because Jack was not in the box. No Jack in the box. So anyway, I leave you on that note, and oh, I want to share this. So I went by Big Lots, and I said I wanted to get a couple items, and I shouldn't have went in there. I saw that they had seashells. I am a I love seashells. So I bought one of the big bowls of the shells. You know how it's all wrapped up. You have to cut into it and get things out. And it was so beautiful. I have to show this to you. The starfish was on the front of the basket. So pretty. So when I open it up, I get rid of all the ones that are broken up. I take those down to when I'm going to go to the beach or to the sea and give those back to the mother of the ocean. But this one, I've never seen anything like this. This is so beautiful. This is a shell, and it has these barnacles that crystallize themselves on here. Look at this. Isn't that just the most beautiful thing in the world? I just could not believe it when I saw it. I mean, look how beautiful how nature is. I just fell in love with this. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this is like a permanent flower piece. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I just fell in love with that. And it's not like you can just pull this off. It became a part of the shell. So I'm just like, wow. Just really pretty. I was just stunned. I mean, it's just so, look at that. How nature, water, earth, everything just comes around with that. And then the starfish, they should have just left it alone. They shouldn't have bleached it out. Should have left it alone. Still has it's like an ocean smell to it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. I just wanted to come on here and share that. Please, please, please do your homework. Ask your questions. Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean what you see is real. All right. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. Much love to all of you. I'll talk to you later. Happy Sunday. Bye.